Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. So in these sessions, we mainly try to share some basic information related to meditation practice. And if you are interested to develop your own way of meditation practice, so I hope you may find some basic informations. So let me get connected with the other network and we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed one, the exalted one, the fully enlightened one. So dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to be very clear with the practice we do here. So today, we're going to talk about determination of renunciation. So renunciation is a very special word when it comes to meditation, because in day-to-day life, we mostly try to maintain things, we try to develop things, we try to produce things. And that's the very nature of the conventional life And that is the very nature of the world. But when it comes to the renunciation, it's a withdrawing. Step back rather than step forward, step back. So from where you withdraw, from where you get out, from where you exist. So that is what we're going to talk today. So when it comes to the world, we have to understand what is the world mean. So your world, my world, this world means whatever we perceive with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. There is nothing else. Only 6 things that you can do in the world. And you may see things, you may hear, you may smell, and you may taste, you may feel, and the mental phenomena. That's it. The very thing is, if you are capable to understand that and become mindful regarding the world, you are find a way to avoid from it. But if you are not aware about it, if you are always try to make things happen, you are into the world. So that is where the change going to happen. When you recognize that world and when you are aware about it, you are capable to get out of it. But when you are not aware, what will happen? You are interfere with it and you're going to go with it and create the journey. So when it comes to the world, that's mean when it comes to our experience, you can't see, you can't hear in a deeper level, you can't smell, you can't taste, you can't feel, you can't think. Because seeing and you, not two different things. So that's why you can't see. The seeing is happening in this very moment. See that? The eye and eye object. So it's happening to you. It is not you see it. The hearing, you can't hear. The hearing is happening. And the smell, it's happening. And the taste, it's happening to you. Otherwise, that if you can taste, take something bitter or sweet and put it to your mouth and determine yourself, I'm not going to taste this because you are the one who doing it. So then can you escape from that bitterness or the sweet? But it's still you're going to feel it. And the sensation, just imagine, oh, I'm not going to, because I am the one who doing it. So then determine, yes, I'm not going to feel that. So then, but still it's going to come to you. And how about the mind? I'm not going to think about it, but still the thoughts going to happen to you. See, that is the very important point that you have to understand. That the world is, they are happening. And when the world is happening, in the very first level, you have to come to the point to that experience. Hearing, seeing, smelling, taste, feeling, thoughts. So that's kind of experience. First, need to settle down with that senses. Maybe not with the 6, one enough. When you are capable to settle down with that, what will happen? Like as example, you become more focused to seeing, hearing, smelling. You go for one thing. Don't go for the 6 in the beginning. And then you are capable to recognize when the hearing happens, with that the feelings arise. When the seeing happens, with that the feelings arise. And the smell happen, with that smell happening, and at the same time as a result, the feelings arise. Taste there, with the taste, the feelings arise. It arises and it disappears. It's not going to be the same. It arises and disappears. When you become more aware, you recognize it. In the very next time, again, the feelings arise. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be a stronger or weaker than the first one. But maybe it comes from as example, when you hear something, the hearing happens and out of that the feelings arise. So then in that very moment, that whatever the feelings arise, it disappears. And again the feelings arise. It happened very quickly. Again the feelings arise, but it can be the stronger feeling than the before or the weaker feeling. So like that, it's going to continue for a moment. And then if you are capable to observe that without responding to it, what will happen? You will see when the feelings arise, it ignites kind of like, it brings some kind of like a connection to the desire. It is not you. Or it is not separate from you. But the outside object, the sound, and it come to your ear, then when the sound is there, that the feelings arise, and with that there is a connection to the desire. So even though in the beginning you don't see that desire, you see that outside object. Just as example, just imagine in this very moment you are looking at something, the computer or the cell phone or the iPad or the TV. So in this very moment that you experience, in right now there is feelings with the contact. But behind that, there is a desire. Oh, I want to practice meditation. I want to know something. So kind of like that. But in the very surface level, you can't see it. So with this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, there is always inside desire. And that with that desire, it deeply, we clinging to something. It is more deeper. That what you clinging, maybe you don't see. On the surface level of the experience, you go again and again and again, and it always keep changing. Behind that, there is a desire and there is a clinging something. And when we are not mindful about it, what will happen? It get tangled. And out of that tangle, it conditioned. So what we experience with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that is the only, 6 things we can experience in this entire universe. And so then it conditioned by again and again with the desire, with the clinging, with the feelings. This is not somebody doing it. It happens. It's a natural process. So when it comes to four foundation, Kaya Anupassana, contemplating the body, Vedana Anupassana, contemplating the feelings, Chitta Anupassana, contemplating the thoughts, Dhamma Anupassana, contemplating the Dhamma or the nature. So this is one part of that. So because this is happening to you. You are the world. You are this moment of experience the world. But we separate the world from us as experiencer. We separate the Dhamma from us. We think we are somebody else. Dharma is something else. You are the Dharma. You are the world. You are the path. There's nothing beyond your experience. But the people used to believe, oh, there is something else beyond us. No, what the Buddha taught, it is you. There's nothing else. What you experience is the world. What is happening to you is the world. And it conditioned by again and again, again and again, repeat that the repetition happened knowingly or unknowingly. So that is what happened. So then what you can, it is a repetition, it is a condition by the repetition. So then what you can do, what happened so far, it didn't happen mindfully. So the way that you can get out, because it is not something else, it is just what happening to you. Then if you are capable to become mindful about it, you start to condition it to being mindful. That is what you need. If you are capable to do that, you're going to get something. Because so far, listen this very carefully and try to get it. So far this happened, our perception, feelings, desires, clinging, this all condition each other by the unmindful repetition. So it is not somebody doing to you, it's happening. So that is where the causation comes, cause and effect. So this, when it happened without mindfulness, what will happen? We misunderstand. That as a result of that misunderstanding, we get tangled with things. So just imagine, that nowadays that I'm doing this water, watering to plants and have a very long hose. So sometimes if I don't keep it properly, it gets tangled itself. Then I was thinking, how this get tangled itself, because no any effort, no one do it. And the very next day when I try to, pull the hose, it get tangled. And then I start to watch it. How this happened naturally itself. Because when I left it, unorganizedly and without kind of like a putting properly, and the very next day when I try to get it, if I get it very kind of like in unorganized way, what happened? It get tangled. So the same thing with the mind also. So what we experience with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, when we are not mindful about it, what happened? That all together get tangled. get mixed each other. And as a result of that, what happened? The outcome going to condition by that tangled nature, and then again and again and again it's going to happen. So once you become mindful regarding this pattern, you can develop a very mindful way of repetition within your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind experience, and that brings the clarity. So then you have to understand you are the Dharma. You are the nature. So don't separate you from the nature and don't try to observe something from the outside world with your self-centered, separated mind, because then you're not going to understand it. There is a story for that. There was a Zen temple in the mountain, and everybody tried to go and see the monk, the high priest. So the temple, it's a long, hallway to walk, and it go into dark, and it become very narrow. And a lot of people go there, and edge of that path, and there is a beautiful, very clear mirror. So whoever go into that, what happens? That person start to see very clearly his or her own reflection, own pace. And everybody get mesmerized seeing that because it is so clear. And what happened? They forget to think, to see the monk, or even they can't find the monk, and they come back. But everybody happy. Why? Because they saw their own reflection very clearly. And then one day, one person went there, and he saw this mirror and his own reflection, but he didn't get distracted out of that his own reflection. He had a deeper intention to look where this high priest. And then what happened? He pushed the mirror, and then it opens kind of like a door, like a secret door. When he pushed the mirror, it's open, and behind that, the high priest was sitting. And no one found out. The same thing happened. That is what it called the path. When you walk in the path, you see yourself. But most of the time we caught up on our own inner, the feelings, the desires, emotions, and we can't go beyond it. And because of that, we don't see the true nature. So then when you are capable to recognize this, what is happening inside you, and observe it very deeply, and then you recognize, you understand. There is no permanent, concrete, self-centered soul or the self or the you inside. That what you experience is itself the very nature of the cause and effect. And then what happened? As a result of that, there is a strong, the current arise when the repetition happens. As you know, anything in this world, in the material world, when the repetition happens, what happened? There is a current arise. There is something else come. So with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, This perception, when you perceive with the feelings, the desire and the clinging, and when it conditioned by itself, and when it happened again and again and again and again, as a result of that, what happened? You create a path for yourself. That is what we call the karma. And it, once you caught in that current, you keep going in that path. So that's what you call your life. You look into yourself, what you keep doing. You know, you follow that your feelings. And the feelings, as I mentioned, it come as a result of the desire behind it. But you don't see that. You see the world, you see the outside things. But there is something keep pushing you towards that. And behind that desire, clinging, that you are holding to something which is not in the world, but in the memory. Because the very nature of the experience, when you experience something, it categorize, memorize. Categorize, memorize. How you categorize it? With the feelings, you categorize good or bad or neutral. And then memorize. That is the very nature of the experience. And again and again, it keep going. And then you just keep follow the current, and then the clinging, that you hold it to something, and it become more and more and more stronger. So if you are not responding to that and observe a little bit, what happened? Now you become mindful. So when you become mindful, you should not judge about it, have any kind of comments or any kind of mental arguments about it, because it is the very nature. It is not good or bad, right or wrong. You just observe and just know it. That is the beginning of the wisdom path. Not to resist or not to hold or not to kind of like going to evaluate with your wisdom or with your experience, but to recognize, especially the feelings. And when you observe that way, you recognize. Then when it comes to the world, that there is a way that things happen. And when it happens, sometimes things become difficult, sometimes things become easy. But that difficult things and easy things, even though happens in the world, the suffering part is totally different. That is a beautiful recognition, you know. So the world can happen in an easy way or very difficult way. But in that world, the suffering always comes as a result of something you deeply hold in your mind. Otherwise, there is no suffering. Maybe things can become harder, things can be easy, but there is no suffering. But if you are suffer, remember that. If you are suffer because of something, that means it's not for 90% or 50% or 99%, 100% you are holding to something, that means clinging with the desire. That's why you suffer. So in the surface level, you don't see it. By thinking, you can't get out of it. So that's why the meditation is a method, very ancient method. It's not a very new age method. It is not this millennials method. Eons by eons, all the Buddhas, enlightened masters went through this method and find out the way to get out of this suffering. So then you have to remember the very misunderstanding with the very conventional world, with our spiritual practice. What? We take these difficult things as suffering. You misguiding yourself and you misunderstand. You think easy things as a kind of like a blessing. No. Sometimes easy things make you foolish. So there is another story for that. There were a group of people, two teams, the rowing. So every day, one team come and start to row, and that day the current was very heavy with the water, and they tried, but didn't happen. But what happened within that team, they used the effort and they used their mind how to deal with this current, and they used their maximum strength to go against the current, and they didn't cross the river because of the current was so high, and they went back. And then another team came, and that day the current was the river was so calm, no resistance, there's no difficulty. The water is so clear, and they used the rowing, and they rowing, and then without any effort, they just crossed the river. So when it comes to spiritual path, that if you think that the very easy way you cross the river, that is the blessing. No. Because there were a lot of conditions, and the team that they row, and they never had the skill. They didn't use the skills, and they didn't master the skills inside them to cross the river, because the environment, the outside nature gave so much facilities for them. But the other team, that they used all the skills, they used all the strength, and each and every muscles in their body helped them to row, and still they didn't able to cross the river that day. But still, they master themselves. So when it comes to the life, you have to remember yourself. To master inside you is the method that you have to develop. Because when it comes to the mind, that all things that the conditions that inside us as a habitual pattern going to decide your tomorrow. So then if you go in a very easy way, remember, the world sometimes not going to become like that. But if you become very skillful person, If you use your all the skills, and then you become someone can go through the situations. So when it comes to suffering, you can struggle with any situation. If you don't have any clinging inside, or if you don't have the desire inside, you can struggle with the world without suffering. That is the way to master the life. Remember that. But if you have the strong desire, if you're clinging to something, maybe in a very easy way things happens, but still that whatever the life you keep crossing, it never allow you to master yourself to get out of this world. So renunciation is a method that you find. The deeper you go into inside and recognize this, the desire and the clinging that you hold it to something, once you give up, the outside nature, the whatever happened, you take it as the Dharma. But unskillful person, they don't look into inside. They go with the outside world and they try to keep it and they try to change it and they try to maintain it and then find the comfort in the outside world. Maybe for the moment, you find the comfort, you will find the best out of the environment, but inside you keep happening, it keep happening, your life keep happening. So then remember yourself, when it comes to meditation, don't depend on the outside condition. Don't go into that. Don't look into that. Just as example, when it comes to meditation, the cushion, silence, the calmness. And sometimes people depend on that things. In little bit music, little bit nice smell. People think the meditation is kind of like that. No, it is deeper in you go into deeper and you start to observe how you experience things. So start with the feelings that whatever you experience, and take time and see how it work for you, because each and every person it's going different way. Why? Because we are conditioned by our own habitual pattern in different ways. That's why people are different. That's why you and me understand things in different ways. When someone understands something different way, when somebody respond to something in a different way, we have to understand why that person do that way, rather than personalizing, categorizing that person right or wrong person, because that person conditioned by that kind of nature. So that's why that person respond that way. So the same thing within us also. So now you go into that system. So when you go into that, the very first step that you have to remember, catch the feelings and observe your perception and catch the feeling. To catch the feelings, the very important thing, you have to calm down, relax, and observe. So that is what the very purpose of sitting. So that's why we get into the sensation. That's why we observe our primary mental object. Catch the feeling. But in a very conventional life, what happened? We go with the feelings. We try to build up the feelings. We try to create the feelings. And we try to make, the feel good and create things, feel good, and keep doing it. But here it's totally different. When you come to sitting, now you don't interfere with the feeling, you observe the feeling. See, now you have to understand the renunciation path and the worldly path. The worldly path is they create the feelings, they go with the feelings, but when you in the renunciation path, you observe the feelings. You don't interfere. Why? Because that whatever happening to you brings some kind of feelings. So if you are capable to see that, you will recognize something. You don't need to create feelings because it's already happening to you. It's a unnecessary effort. Sometimes we do it to the life. No. So why you jump ahead? Because you have this strong desire and the current and the karmic path that you created with your past habitual pattern push you forward. So that's why from the moment of feeling, you try to create some feelings. But in this very moment, there are some feelings happen to you. You don't need any effort. You get it very free. That's why the enlightenment is free. You don't need. Sometimes, people ask, how much I charge for meditation, So, so that's sometimes I ask them, if you attain to enlightenment, how much you're going to pay for me? Because it's free. Your feelings that happening in the very moment is free. So if you are capable to see that, you will see, then a lot of people try to feel good. And a lot of people try to make life, make happy. No, if you look very carefully, in the moment that naturally whatever getting to you is the real good feeling. The real happiness means once you tune to that, once you see it, that is where you get the real happiness. Not it's artificial created, the happiness. That's why it arises, it drops there, and then the very next day you get disappointed. You want to create it again and again. That. So you feel happy, but you can make it feel good, but remember, it's going to disappear. But this natural process, in this very moment, with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, it itself happens. It itself. There are feelings arise without any effort in you. And if you capable to tackle that and tune to that, you will see the life that happening to you without any effort. And that life is the life happening to entire universal living beings. That whatever the life happening to you. So, and once you get that, once you tune to the feelings, and you can see the desire behind the feelings. There's no struggle for you. You don't look for life. You don't struggle for that, because you see whatever behind you push you forward, and you try to chase as the life looking for future, because the real life is behind you. That is something, we think that our life is tomorrow, but it is not tomorrow. Yesterday something, pushed us towards tomorrow. That's where the desire and the clinging come from our history. So the most of time, that whatever happened in our past push towards the future. So this is what the nature of the samsara. And it keep going, once it become a current, you keep going. So then it is not it is not somebody doing it for you. It is even not that yourself that you're doing. Only thing is, when you become unconscious within that what happened to you, it happened. That's the reason. So once you become conscious, once you be aware about it, once you become mindful, rather than interfering to, or rather than doing something, or rather than resisting anything, once you become mindful about it, what happened, then you recognize the pattern happening inside. That mindfulness itself is the solution for this repetition. There's nothing else. So once you become mindful, you see. So when the feelings arise, when you see with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body things, you recognize, oh, it is not happened by mistake. You don't see things by mistake. You don't hear things by mistake. You don't smell things by mistake. You don't eat things by mistake. You don't feel things by mistake. You don't think by mistake. And even you don't see new things. You don't hear new things. You don't smell new things. You don't eat new things. You don't feel new things. You don't think new things, brand new things you not experience in life. So very example in this very moment, that what you see, it is a repetition of you. You did it yesterday, day before yesterday, and you had a very conscious decision, desire, oh, I want to do this. So this, as a result of that, maybe few minutes ago, that what you thought, now you experience. So the desire is already what happened in the past. That brings you a future moment of experience. And what you hear, the same. And what you smell, there's example perfume. You're not so you had the desire, you went to buy it, you tested it, and so then you brought it, and now what you smell as your perfume, in the moment you experience it and you feel so good, but from where it comes? Maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months ago, and maybe the same perfume, maybe you use it for many years. See? And the food you eat, do you think that you eat very brand new food in your life? How many times you had that experience? Most of the time you repeat that what you like to eat. That's it. And the people, look how many, that the people you associate. And you are so you repeat your own inner feelings with that people. Even that the person, your body is different. Your body become new every day. The other people become new every day. Your husband, wife, children, parents, friends, partners, they always head to toes become new every day. When you meet each other, when you feel each other, you don't feel new feelings. It is a repetition of your deeper inner desire. So the thoughts the same. So that's why we just keep repeating life. So once you recognize this and once you settle down, You don't go with it. You don't try to make anything happen. You observe and see the feelings. And then you see a little bit the desire behind it. And the very nature of it, it arises and disappears. The desire may be not going to be be always in the moment. It arises and disappears. That's its nature. And the clinging, it arises and disappears, all the same. So that's why you have a great opportunity to change anything in your life. Because whatever that arises in you, not permanent. Whatever you carry as who you are is not permanent. Maybe eons by eons you are carried it within your whole samsaric journey so far. But remember, it is not permanent. From this very moment to your next moment, you can be completely new person. Only thing is, just observe and recognize it arise and disappear, rather than just keep repeating. Then you can become anyone tomorrow. And if you clearly understand this method anymore, if you are not keep repeating anything with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, if you just be with the experience that whatever happened to you, your liberation going to happen. You don't have any desire with your eye. You don't have any clinging with your eye. You don't have any desire or the clinging with your ear. You don't have any clinging or the desire with your nose. You don't have any clinging or the desire with your tongue. You don't have any desire or the clinging with your body, with the feelings. And you don't have any desire or clinging with your thoughts. If you are capable to come to that point, your liberation happens. You become free. Anymore, there's no current to keep happening. And then your Nibbana going to happen. But our previous, this habitual pattern, this repetition, conditioned by this repetition, it's so strong, and which we call the karma, and it's keep happening. So we have to take a small step. Slowly we have to observe and look into it and make it very clear. And that clarity will take you into the bottom level and see the desire and the clinging, how strong it is, and from where it comes. So it's all in you. There's nothing outside. All the Dharma you hear, all the gurus you meet, all the Buddha or the enlightened masters you meet, it's nothing there. It is in you. When the Buddha meet you, the Buddha is the highest, when the enlightened master. When the Buddha meet you, and the Buddha will tell that, and then you listen. You know, like us, you don't listen to that. Oh, this monk, you don't listen. But when the Buddha meet you and tell that, you listen. That's how your transformation happens. Because we have so much ego-centric mind, self-centered idea. So I know this. That's why. But remember, once you understand this, become very clear, and you are capable to untangle this inside all the conditions. So that is the path to freedom. That is what the wisdom. That the wisdom means that you untangle this your inner feelings, desires, and the clingings, and the conditions, this repetition. Once you become free from that what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you see, what you feel, what you think, and just tune to the only for the moment. And once you have it, no anymore the mental formations interfere with the moment of experience. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So bring attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Swapateva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the moment observing the sensation of your body. So bring your attention to your whole body and observe the sensation or the feelings. Don't react to that, and see how it happens itself naturally. And it will arise, many feelings arise and it will disappear. So don't interfere with it. Just keep observe. Don't take any feelings as you, or don't take it as somebody else. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this with clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as the light. To your backside, to your left side, to your right side, downward, and upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata cha ammi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sambatti vidyā. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sambatti vidyā. Sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sambatti siddhya. Imaya Dhamma Patipattiya Buddham Pujemi Dhammam Pujemi Sangham Pujemi Addaya Imaya Patipattiya Jati Jara Vyadi Maranam Paribundissami Idamme Punya Kammang Azavakkaya Vanyotu Sabba Dukkha Pamuncatu. Bless.